Welcome back to Watching the Throne on the Late Night Chat Network, episode 28. All right, welcome
You know
back.
what I was just thinking of
What's up?
as this music was playing? I was like, there's enough of us. We can like perform that, right?
Like an orchestra?
Like, yeah, like, we'll just
Yeah, we'll just pull out my instruments here from.
pull out your violin, pull out the drums. We got it. The cymbals, whatever. We can do it.
Maybe one day. Maybe we'll have to get somebody on here to recreate the beat for us or something.
I'll start busting out the violin.
Well, we're off the rails already, guys. Welcome back to Watching the Throne, a Late Night Chat Network, of course. Joining with me today, as always, we got our co-host JT here, Sir JT.
Yeah,
And,
that's right.
And a returning very special guest, super fan, Christina. Welcome back. The third son. What's going on?
I'm back. I'm back.
No? Oh, welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you for coming back, Christina. And for
Putting up with our bullshit.
For anybody that's missed it, she's actually been on a couple of previous episodes as well. So you can always go back and check them out on our playlist here.
Yeah, go back. Watch them.
Watching the Throne, get those numbers up. Basically, Christina was just with us the last episode, and she's actually going to be on for the next remaining 2 episodes of the 3rd season, guys. So stay tuned for that. Anybody familiar with Game of Thrones knows those episodes are a doozy, so stay tuned. Those are originally the ones that she actually requested that she come on and do, and it's been a real good time having you on here, Christina. Your opinions.
Thank you. No, I'm having a blast.
Yeah.
It's so nice to like rewatch again. As I know we've previously mentioned, I've seen this show like probably 10 times now. Especially with this rewatch. No, it's like maybe I'll say like 6. We'll say 6.
You're the super fan in the room here on this show. So yeah,
Wait, for today. But I know you have a few other guests lined up that are also like mega super that I actually think are super fans. So
absolutely.
If you think I'm a super
people
fan,
that I didn't even think were fans,
they're like mega fans, yeah.
Absolutely. No,
we exist. We're out there.
Absolutely. No, I know who you're speaking of, some of the people that are coming on, absolutely. And like Jay mentioned, some people that we didn't even know were fans of the show might come on and join us as well. So yeah.
I thought they only like sports.
Hey, Jay, is your dad going to come on?
He's already like halfway through, man. He's done almost, man.
You should get your dad to come on. That'd be so fun.
I would love it, but these two would probably be going at one another. I don't know if I want to be.
That's what happens. I'll start bringing up family history, and then it'll turn into a shit show. It won't even be about Game of Thrones. It'll be like about
John versus John.
I am the fucking
versus
king
John
to the throne. Okay,
you might have a
Don't forget that
situation if his dad comes on. So maybe we'll steer clear.
I'm heir to the throne. Don't fucking forget that. I don't know what throne, but yeah, I'm heir.
Shout out to your dad. No, for sure. I would love to have him on here. I mean, I agree with her. It's funny because he has been rewatching it. His dad almost spoiled the show for him recently because he's like, where are you? Like, because he's like seasons ahead of him at this point in time.
Yeah, he's like season 6, I think, or he's probably done by now, but he was at season 6 at the time. And I said, dude, I'm only in season 3. Relax. Like, I don't want to hear it. Because I thought I was watching it so I can talk to you about it. Well, I do it on the show. Listen to the show.
He should come on and join you. That he's watching it to talk about it with you.
He's so full of shit. He just doesn't. He won't come on the show, man. He thinks all assholes have YouTube channels. That's basically what. Remember, we already talked about this on the fucking 2 weeks ago by now.
Well, anyways,
Speaking of assholes.
YouTube channels, JT has been teasing us for quite a while here, guys, and he's ready to showcase actually something very cool that I've never seen. Neither has Christina, actually. So this will be our first time checking it out. JT, not having ever watched the show before for whatever reason, but the line of some of the liquors that were Game of Thrones related ones, and they actually are specific to each house. And I think he almost has all of them, not all of them, but most of them. But if you want to show those off here,
I think 2 of them weren't sold in Canada. That's why I don't have, and then they're hard to fucking find. I think, if I'm not mistaken, because I think there's 8 in total, right? But 2 of them were here. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that's how it went, right?
right.
But yeah, no, I mean, you guys can pick a house, and I can show you guys what you guys want to see, like which one you want to see first. You can just name it by
Ooh.
the house. Like there's,
Go ahead, Chris.
if I don't have that house, like you got to think about 6 of the things that are
Okay.
going on. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a house.
Just because the opening
sense.
scene opens with this house character, let's show us the Stark.
Oh, okay. Where is he?
This is so exciting. Are they all different liquors, or are they the same liquor but just designed differently? The bottles are designed
No,
differently.
they're all different scotches. So
Oh,
that's
whoa!
that's the where is it? That's the House of Stark. Where am I going backwards? I got to remember.
Down now, go down so we can see the down, the other way. Yeah,
Oh, it's called Winter's Frost.
that's
Mm.
cool. That's very
That's on their flag, right?
yeah, they're
Right?
banned.
Nice.
And that one there, yeah, that one there, look, freshly opened still. That's, I guess, must be open only once, I think, before to check out the bottle, bro. It's beautiful, man. Got it right on the label.
Very
Right?
cool. Those are nice. Yeah,
Oh,
that's awesome. So they're all scotches, you said, right?
Yeah, they're all different types of scotches, different.
Okay, let's
different
see.
brands.
Let's see Targaryen.
I bought 4 of them at once, bro. At one point, man. That's what happened one time. I just said, you know what? I might as well buy the other 2 after, and then I was like, okay. Because I remember we only sold
those are so
the
nice.
6. So you said Targaryen? Oh,
Yeah, slowly. Yeah, there you go. You got it. Very cool.
Whoa.
That's very cool.
and actually, if you look at it in the back too, bro.
It has the
Look
region.
at
It
that.
has the map.
Yeah, put me on the big screen.
Yeah.
Limited edition.
No, but you see the tire.
Wow.
Yeah, it says all the houses there. That's awesome.
Westeros.
Yeah. Yeah, there's 8 of them. You're right. There's 8.
There's
Wow.
8, and I'm missing Baratheon and Tyrell. Those are the 2 that I don't have.
Oh.
Tyrell, eh? Okay, interesting. All right.
Yeah, those
The
are 2
Baratheon
that
one
they
would
didn't
be
have
nice
here.
too.
Yeah.
With
Okay.
the stag?
What's next? Yeah, that's true. What's next?
Yeah, and I want to get them. Trust me, man.
Lannister.
If I can find them, but they're gonna be fucking twice the price probably by now. And
Lannister?
they probably only come with sets.
Probably. Because like I said, we just went on the eBay before this to kind of take a look if these had maybe gone up in value. All the listings that I saw were just the actual empty bottles and the case, not the actual like with the liquor inside, right? So but
This is one of the more this is one of the more expensive scotches. This one,
the Lannister one, of
you
course.
said Lannister one, yeah.
They're the richest. That makes sense.
So,
Oh,
is-
sick.
so
Yeah, it's
where
pretty
is it?
cool.
See the House of Lannister, right there
And
on the
is that-
bottom.
Oh, is that Lagavulin?
Yeah, that one's like.
Yes. Oh, that's
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that's why it's so expensive. That's a good one.
Ron Swanson liquor. That's the Ron Swanson whiskey right there, Scotch. Oh man, no wonder it's expensive. Yeah,
that's a good one. Wow, those are really nice.
very cool. Okay, so what did we say? Stark, Targaryen, Lannister.
You have Tully?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that fish. It looks so mean. Like,
It's fucked up, man. That fish. I was watching this on Prehistoric Planet. Prehistoric Planet on Apple TV.
The Greyjoys aren't part of it anymore, are they? Weren't they?
is there a Greyjoy one?
Yes, there is.
Oh, there is. Why is that not a fish? What the fuck is theirs?
It's a squid.
Oh, I knew it had to be something from the water. Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we left with then? What's left here? Oh, no, they're not.
The black one. It's the black one. So what do you think it's called?
the black one?
Oh, is it? It's not White Walker.
It's not. I told you. It said it's not the house. It is
Not a
not
house.
necessarily a house.
Oh, it's the what do you call it? The Castle Black. Is it the
wall?
the Night Watchman or
There you go. I was waiting for Nico to see it.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Night's Watch.
yeah.
You can't. This one is hard to see.
Oh.
I don't even know what to say. I don't. There's just a whole.
The Night's
I
Watch.
think this
That is so clever.
It says, "Hear my words and breathe and witness to my vow." This is it gives you the Night Watch's vow, right?
Yeah.
The oath that they have to
The
do.
bottle's gonna spoil something for you. You're imagine.
Would it if I read it?
No. No, they
I never
John
actually
and
took this
Sam
one
did
out.
it in like season 1.
What's on the bottle? Is it just also black? That's awesome.
That is
This is probably an
so
expensive one.
nice.
This is another expensive one too. That's the Oban one.
And what's on the other side? Is it just the back or nothing?
Just black.
Oh, okay.
The-
That's
the-
cool.
That's a sexy bottle.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's I think my
No, this-
favorite is that one actually. That's
I didn't even know it was black. The bottle, to be honest. This is the first time I opened
That's
it myself.
awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, we have a first here, folks. A first.
I might have. That
reveal.
might have been the first time, yeah, that I opened that box
There you go.
because, like I said, I just need, like I said, I need the Baratheons and the Tyrell. One's a Clenish and one's a. These ones we don't carry these scotches, man. So I don't know how I'd get them. There's
Right.
just 2 of them that we don't carry at the liquor store, and you know, just in case, guys, I do have my receipts if they need to know, right? I had to keep them, bro. I couldn't.
Of
You know
course.
what? When they came out, I had to put them on hold.
Yeah, sure.
Or I had to buy them right away. And then I had to do it through employee because you know why? We're not allowed to. I had to wait till the store opened literally and wait in line too, like with them. So
Right.
I got lucky,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because I'm sure there was
But,
a lot of people after these at the time, right?
The thing is, I kind of had a head. I mean, I kind of knew that it would have been in the next day. I just still had to wait in line and do all that other stuff like everybody else, right?
Yeah, see, so I'm
So-
looking online, at least from the listings that I saw for anyone interested. If you see this and you're interested, look it up. Yeah, there's just a lot of empty bottles, people selling things, empty bottles on here. Oh, hold on, what's this one? Oh, so this
Like I
is
said-
one, this is one you may not be aware of then, Jay. There's one here that says Game of Thrones 6 Kingdoms, Mortlock 15-year-old Scotch, limited edition empty. I don't know what that's all about. This is a limited edition
Well,
ones.
On
I
the
don't- I've never
bottle,
seen-
like on the
Let me
back of the
see.
bottle, it tells which ones there are. So if he's missing 2, then he knows which ones he's missing of
Yeah,
that
'cause
set.
I have Targaryen, Stark, Lannister, Tully, Tyrell. No, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I don't have Tyrell. I don't have Tyrell or Baratheon.
Hmm.
Those are the 2 I'm missing from this set.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's
So-
this is what I was looking at.
Those are actually
Oh,
maybe
what's
they're
that?
saving them.
Like a 3-eyed raven one says 6 Kingdoms.
Oh, that looks like
Oh, that's sweet, man.
That's another one. It's a limited edition one that they did apparently. I mean, this is the first time I've ever.
Yeah, and if it doesn't come to Canada, I can't get it, right? It's hard for me
Yeah.
to get it. I'd have to go and find it. And right now, because I didn't get it at the same time, if I would have bought it back then, I might have been able to somehow, but I don't know how I would have got it here.
There's also the White Walker, Johnny Walker ones. as
Oh
well.
yeah, I've seen those ones.
Yeah, but those
more
were like
common. Those are more common.
all they were shrink wrapped. Those ones weren't like fucking money. Those were just regular
Right,
red label and black label, right?
Yeah, I remember
look-
buying a bottle of red wine when they came out with their like Game of Thrones like red wine.
Yeah.
I think it was for season 6 or season 7. I cracked it open like the beginning of one of those seasons.
Yeah, I had a wine too at one point. Yeah,
They have a House of Dragons one too, so
I saw that. Yeah. So there you go. Very
that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if they might save some of the scotches. I never really seen I've seen that there's an eight to the set, but I've never really seen the bottle, the Baratheon bottle or the Tyrell bottle, because I wanted the Tyrell. Isn't it the Tyrell I just said? Did I? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because your
'cause
girl comes from the Tyrell family.
But I didn't see those. I'm wondering if it's from fucking back, if they're gonna bring it out now and release them to finish the set. Like, I don't know how that works. Like, I'm wondering myself personally if they're gonna do that for us. I don't know. right?
Yeah.
But,
Now you're interested. Now you're invested, Jay. You actually know what you're.
well, I got
If any
fucking
of our
It's like fucking $600 worth of scotch here, man. I got
if
it.
any of the listeners or viewers here, have their hands on a bottle or
Yeah, let us
know
know.
how to get, let us know.
Yeah, man.
Put it
Let
in
me
the
know.
comments.
Fuck. Straight up. I didn't
Comments.
even think about saying that.
Yeah, those are very cool though. Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. I know you've been talking about them for a long time. Jay had to
Yeah.
unearth them from the closet, everybody. So like, here you go.
No, they were there, and they're in a good spot. They're in a nice, sorry, like not the temperature's decent, so it's not up and
Right.
down, and it's just they're just in the dark. So as long as they're in the dark, they're fine. They're scotch.
Well, there you go. Nice way to start.
Just get better with age, like me, man.
And once again, guys, speaking of the show, this is our weekly Game of Thrones review show where we talk about episode by episode, kind of do a deep dive conversation and review, like overview of the episodes for you guys. And Jay, this is the first time he's ever seen the show. This is my first rewatch of the show ever from originally watching it. And in super fan chair today, we got Christina, of course, who's seen it many times, as we previously mentioned. So yeah, thank you for joining us once again. And today we're going to be talking about the episode Second Sons, Game of Thrones season 3, episode 8. And yeah, overall thoughts,
Son.
Christina.
This one,
Oh, sorry, Jay. Go ahead. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, Jay, what?
this one had a lot to take in, man, and this one was hard to keep up with for me, especially after watching the other one. Um, I might have jumped ahead from a seat like in the last one we watched because I watched them together, so. It kind of threw me out, but it was just they kind of blended in together really really well. I think, to be honest, I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but
Yep.
I find that they kind of this episode and episode 7 kind of really meshed together really well. But this one was a lot more to take in, and especially when you get in more scenes of the Khaleesi's there, or whatever the fuck you want to call her. She got 10 names, but but yeah, the more you get to see, like the more scenes with her in it, the more you got to fucking put the subtitles on. Damn it, right? So I got to read subtitles, and then I also got to write the my
Subtitles helps
scenes
when
and
you're
stuff.
writing notes, though, I will say, with names.
Well,
it
it
just-
also helps you remember it. It not just names, but it also helps you remember what you're watching too, in a sense, right? It's kind of weird. It's like, I guess, what they say about reading a book. It makes you learn, right? I don't
there
know.
you go. So you liked it overall. Yeah, no, this was another good one.
Yeah.
Christina, what did you think?
There's this is the one with the appearance of something we haven't seen in a while. Two
Yes,
things,
Jay.
actually.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Sorry.
No,
Yes,
go ahead.
you remember
Yes.
what I'm talking
Look at
about
that
now. Yeah.
smile. Look at that
I've been
smile.
paying
We're
attention,
going to talk
and
about it.
but one more thing too, just before, because the intro in this one, are they keep adding stuff to these intros? I feel like it's changed again. I didn't go back. I wanted to watch two intros ago because I feel like they added something into the again into where they are.
They're
or
always
something.
changing the intros. You got to
And I
like
feel like it's almost like an Easter egg to watch that intro if you kind of pay attention to it, right?
Yeah.
Because you can kind of get something from following upcoming episodes. As like I said, I've never seen them myself, so I kind of get. I didn't like to hear that violin and shit all the time. I try to get skipped through it, but now I've been
Just mute
slowly
it.
paying attention to it. Yeah, I didn't think of that, but yeah, now I'm slowly starting to see everything that's going on there, right? And I'm trying to read what's where they are, and it kind of looks like the back of the map that we just looked at on the
Yeah.
on the thing, right? So I'm kind of just trying to map everything out in my head and where they're going. Yeah, it's just weird. It's kind of cool. It's kind of I find it neat. Always the intro has always been neat to me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a very big lived in world that they've made up here, right? Like the world building in this show is what makes it so good. All the
It
characters.
looks like the shape of whales, man. Really, somewhere up there, like no, not a whale, bro. Like
Whale?
whales in England.
England and
Yeah, well,
Scotland and
whatever,
Ireland.
Yes, yeah, it looks like that sort of shape, sort of in a weird way. The only reason I know that is because I watched a show that talked about
Geography over here.
it. Fuck off.
All right.
I learned that from Ryan Reynolds, bro.
Christina, what did you think of this episode?
Again, it's just like it's a good enough episode. I like, the wedding scene. Like I think that was like
Yeah,
I don't know, there were again, there was good filler episode. It was a good filler episode. And
But
like
there was
I
scary
think
stuff too.
this episode was I think this is like, you know, we don't see a lot of the characters in this one. Like they spend a lot of time focusing on certain storylines versus others. Like we don't see John and the wildlings in this one. We don't see Rob. And yeah, so it's a little different. Like, I mean, compared to last episode where the scenes kept like
Right.
flipping.
And having moved ahead onto the next one, it's the same deal. Like they
Yeah.
were really focused on um other groups that weren't really even featured in this one. Like between these last two episodes prior to the finale, where usually on the finale, depending what's going on, they try to touch one final moment on each of the kind of storylines that they've been
Yeah.
following throughout the whole season.
Yeah.
This one, episode 8 and episode 9, are two very different like kind of like storylines that they're focusing on, like I would say, in each episode.
Yeah.
Actually, and it's a bit jumping ahead, but in the next episode, bit of a spoiler for Jay, and maybe if you don't recall, Christina as well, one of the very few episodes, and maybe the first out of all the episodes so far, that Tyrion actually isn't even in. He's not in the next one at all. So I was very surprised about
Episode 9?
Yeah, I made note of it today. Not in it at all. I made note of it.
Wow.
I made note of it today. I was very
Well,
surprised.
poor guy needed a break, man.
Oh, no,
Need a
but like,
vacation.
literally in like every episode,
Yeah,
this is the one episode he was not in the next episode. So yeah, it's not
Oh,
really,
okay.
really
Okay.
but it's like it just
He did a late night chat, and he what he did watching the Thrones, and he skipped. You know, he was prepared, so he had an episode off. He did his scenes beforehand. You know what I mean?
there you go. Yeah, I'm just
Getting ahead, Neeks.
I'm just looking over my notes right now. Yeah, no, he's not in it at all, which I was
Okay.
very. So it's one of the few, if not like only time I feel like that's gonna happen. I mean, we'll see as we continue on throughout.
Yeah, he definitely like has been in every episode. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah, like at least up to this point, like because we've kind of like been doing the notes and all that. I'm pretty certain this is the first episode we don't see him at all.
Huh,
The next one, not this
interesting.
one, obviously. I love this episode. I think that whole wedding sequence, that is I love that scene. I love the stuff with Cersei in this episode. I really liked some of the scenes in this episode. I think, I think compared even to the last one that we recorded, this was my favorite out of the two episodes. Actually, was this one. As much as I know everyone loves love and everything else that happened, all the sexy times were on the last episode. This is like more of the juicy kind of drama between the Lannister family and other folks, and that's like for me. I like Christine makes fun of me all the time for when we watch shows.
This is unique. This is the look at you. This is just
Christine always points this out about me when we watch shows. She's like, you love the fucking worst people on any of these shows. Like, you love watching these horrible fucking people. Even like in terms of my comic books, like I like the anti-hero people, like the Punishers and like people like this. People that are like, they really ride the line of like whether or not like they're good guys or bad guys or like you know what I mean? I like complicated
Batman.
shows. Yeah, I like
I like Superman. Just shows our personalities are different.
Your super ego speaking, is this maybe like how you feel? Let's talk about this. How do you feel about all of this?
I just like complicated. Like I liked people it's not all black and white life. You know what I mean? So I think it's interesting. Like I like people with layers, like to them, like more like you know what I mean.
How do you feel about Shrek?
I just want to save the world like Superman, bro.
I don't mind the Shrek films are okay.
I like Shrek.
But layers,
I feel like the donkey most of the time.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, like a jackass.
Yeah, well, there you go. I was waiting for it. Waiting for some sort of comment there. All right, so getting into the episode here. So we all liked it. Opens up with Arya waking up camped out with the Hound and her trying to take this opportunity, seeing him still sleeping there to kill him, to bash him over the head with a rock possibly. And he tells her to try her best and he will crush her hands if she fails, because I guess he wakes up in that moment. And he goes on to say, because she says, how bad of a person he is. He says there are worse men than me out here, and people that rape people like his brother. he tells her how he saved Sansa from getting raped previously, and he says that he's taken. He then mentions that he's taken her to the Twins, not King's Landing, where she thought they were going originally. And he mentions that he's heard word that her brother Rob is getting married, and she see. Sorry,
It's her uncle, Edmure.
Oh, sorry.
Her uncle, yeah, to the chick.
Yeah, and then that's right. Sorry, Edmure, yeah, is getting married to
the Frey girl.
Frey girl. That's right. And she asked like the reason he got into this conversation is because she sees like a lake or so. She's like, "Oh, is that Blackwater?" And he's like, "No, that's Red Fork." And then he says, you know, he mentioned
Blackwater.
Yeah, he mentions fuck Joffrey and the Queen once again here, and he says that he's gonna sell her to her family, I guess, because he could use the money now that he's kind of just out and about,
rogue,
traveling. Yeah, exactly. So
poor guy.
That's the plan. That's the plan,
He's gonna sell her back to the family. Hey, that just shows that you can sell your kids back to your own family back then. I don't know what the fuck happened.
The Brotherhood without banners was gonna do the same thing, but they just abandoned her, right? So she abandoned them.
She ran away.
Yeah. So yeah.
She's a sneaky little.
Anything about this opening scene? Any thoughts on it? Or
no, I thought it was neat. I thought it was, like she
slow open.
I think but I think she like you said, she didn't. I didn't originally think she just wanted to go back and do her thing because she didn't realize anybody was still alive. I think really at the end of the day, right? She up until right about that point, it was all a shock kind of to her when he said he's bringing her back to her for the wedding and her mom and Rob, right? So maybe she's kind of looking forward to it now, right? I don't know. I have to see where it goes from here, right? But yeah, you said slow burn, right? Maybe.
Yeah. Daenerys sees the backup, like basically the men that are gonna help that
Second Son's ride.
Yeah, the Second Sons. What's her name? Yunkai. What's this? What did I write down here? The Titan's bastard.
So Miro. Daenerys, Jorah, and Ser Barristan, they're kind of in disguise, and they're checking out this other encampment that's also on the outside of Yunkai, and it's the Second Sons. And basically, they're just giving her a little bit of backstory that they're just some they're basically bought by the Yunkai people to keep them safe because the Yunkai are not warriors, but they need warriors to protect them. So they're kind of on contract. The Second Sons are on contract with the city as protection. And they're just giving Daenerys some information.
That's what Jorah says they're called, though, right? Because I wrote down Titan's bastards.
So that's what the captain, I think the Captain Miro is called, is Titan's bastard, or that's like the leader, and then there's captains under this person, right? So Daenerys wants to meet with them,
right,
to negotiate them joining her versus being obligated to the city that she's trying to overthrow.
Right. So they end up meeting with the captains of the Second Sons, and then I guess the captain there, as you mentioned, the one man, he makes a bunch of crude sexual comments that JT, I'm sure, would appreciate if you want to throw out a few there, Jay. I'm sure you have them written down. He flicks his tongue at her like Scarface. Why don't you?
Well, there's like three of them, right? The captains, they have their names too. I was trying to get their names down.
Yeah,
I can't pronounce them, but
I didn't write them down here.
One's Miro of Bravos, right?
That's the main one's the guy that talks to her, right?
Yeah. Then you got, I don't know how you say this, Prendal.
Sure.
Okay, I don't know.
We're just gonna go with it.
Prendhal. DAHL. Yeah, weird.
Yep.
Okay, and the Riro of Naziris or whatever.
Daario Naharis.
Daario Naharis. I don't fucking know. I wrote it down the right way and it just doesn't pronounce right to me, man. Like, how do you have two A's in a row? It just, I don't know.
No.
I'm trying to do my grammar, but it's a little hard when the fucking shit doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
So what did he say to her, Mr. Nero or Miro of Bravos? What did
Yeah, didn't he ask her something if he had fucked the friend there? What's her name? The maid there? If he had
May
fucked her
Sunday?
with the
not
tongue?
me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
with the
Melisandre.
tongue. Yeah, yeah. With the what do you say?
Oh, he
Fucked
slaps
her
her
before.
ass.
He goes, yeah, I think, yeah, and he goes, I think I fucked her before with my tongue or something, right?
Oh yeah, no, that's what he says to Daenerys, or you look like someone
One of them,
I've
right?
Yeah,
Fucked
slept with,
before, right?
and
right.
yeah, and
Yeah, I didn't get to
anyways,
write
yeah,
down all the quotes.
he's just pompous, and he's just full of himself, and he's just, I
And
mean, he's a great character for what he is, but man, like,
I mean,
I think the best one, yeah, is they should just show me your. What do you say at the end before they after they're trying to figure out they're trying to figure out a deal, right? And they're trying to, she's giving them 2 days, right? And then
very rude. Like he's like, yeah, he
you
busts
tell
out
them just
like 10 sexual comment, like quotes within like 2 minutes of scene. It's pretty
let's go to
bad.
quotes.
He's
Let's
going
go to
in,
quotes.
going.
it just like, yeah, it just come like he just does not stop, like it just keeps coming, like,
Oh yeah,
And basically, Daenerys basically takes this opportunity to kid about how naive she is now to war, new to war in this moment, right?
yeah, she's playing dumb.
Right. Barrick takes this opportunity to lie and say they have 10,000 men, but Dario knows that they only have 8,000. He catches him in the lie, essentially, like calls him out and says, well, no, you guys only have 8,000 on Sully's, and I hope that, you're better than this liar or whatever, like that. They're better than, you're making up, all this numbers and stuff. And they're caught in the lie. And she offers them as much as they are getting paid by the Yunkai to fight with them. They refuse. They basically said they've already took a contract, and like that's kind of like word is bond type shit. They said they took the contract, they can't go back on that. And she says, "Okay, well then I'm giving you 2 days to decide." And he makes some more sexual comments. And then he like Jay said, he says about seeing her. This is the word kind. I don't throw that around lightly. It's a pretty bad, terrible word, but yes, he says it. And then he slaps Melisandre's ass on the way out there and tells Sir Barristan. Then she turns to him, Sir Barristan, and tells him, "If we go to war with those guys, kill that fucker first." Like pretty much. And he's like, "Gladly,"
He's like, with pleasure.
Yeah, just because he's like treats them like fucking shit, right? Like the women as objects type thing, right? Yeah. So he's just a dirtbag. That guy. He's like,
these guys are straight up pigs. That's what I wrote too, man. I mean, I was more shocked in what they were saying than the scene itself. I was going, wow, did they not know she has dragons? Don't fuck around with her. No, but still, it just was. I thought it was hilarious, man. Like pigs.
Well, yeah,
He looked like Mr. Blonde. One guy looked like Mr. Blonde, Fabio.
Yeah, he pulled off the piece of shit role very well in this like he's only on
100%.
for a couple of minutes, but you like already you're just like, wow, this guy's fucking full of himself. And
He was gonna be my new favorite character, but
it didn't last long though.
unfortunately his other captain brother is a bitch. But yeah, go on.
What did I write here? So now we move. Any other thoughts on that?
Melisandre.
Anything on this scene or no?
No, straight up dirty. That was it. Good intro though. For
Gendry
those
meets
characters.
with Stannis Baratheon in this next scene, and then he tells Melisandre to skip the pleasantries after he kind of walks off and basically lets her know to do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Instead of pampering him. And it looks like they got plans for him. And
See the way he found out if he was part Robert or whatever, how he just looked at him like this. And he was able to tell, like, I wonder if he knew how he can do ancestry.com in that sense, like,
just by grabbing
Just
his face.
By grabbing his face, he said, "Yeah,
You
he's part
are
Robert, he's part Robert,
52%
part bastard."
Baratheon.
You look Baratheon to me. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
So in this moment, like, there has been a lot of talk about King's blood and how it's powerful and all this kind of stuff prior to now, right? And I don't know if they openly talk about what they have planned here, but it's alluded to, I think, right? Yeah. So like,
Well, she makes reference to, like a lamb to slaughter, right? Like if the lamb sees the knife, then the meat will spoil and go bad because it'll be filled with fear and it'll be tense. And
that's right.
I've heard,
Well, yeah.
and I've heard, like, not to get into animal rights here and whatever, but I have heard that, like, if
Why not?
No, we're not doing that. But but so to her point, like in response to Stannis, it was like, he's like, just get it over and done with. Why are you like,
Yeah.
but she's like, no, we need to make sure that he's as comfortable and it's as like free flowing and good as possible. So she has her methods, obviously. We're aware of what her methods are. And yeah. So that was that scene.
And then we see Sir Davos. He's still learning how to read in the dungeons
He's
with
doing a good job, though. I think
He is.
yeah, I
he's
like.
trying. I
Go,
haven't
Sir
seen any
Onion Knight.
classes yet from but he's trying.
And I guess because Stannis's daughter provided him with a book last time and said she was going to help him teach him how to read. So you can
Yeah.
kind of working on it. And you could see him struggle for a moment in this scene, but then he gets it.
They didn't
And
have fucked on phonics
then
back then.
he actually has a smile on his face because he's actually learning in this scene. Like it kind of felt good about him. It's
Proud
kind
of
of like
himself.
I saw Jay read for the first time recently on the show. It really was a nice heartwarming moment. And no, no. Then Stannis visits him, and in this moment, he apologizes about his son getting killed and asks how he's doing. And then they basically, he's like, well, this cell's a little nicer than most that I've seen, right? Well, he's the one that put him in there. I found that kind of funny because he seems to be like finally owning up to the fact that he overreacted and sent him off, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And he tells him that they brought Robert's bastard boy and that they're going to blood sacrifice him. Davos questions his plan to do so and mentions how he's an innocent and that he's his nephew. And Stannis thinks basically that this is a means to an end, essentially. Like he's like, yeah, well, I have to do this, the king's blood, and that, one day I gotta take over. Like again, he's driven by this whole power kind of trip that he has about being the king, essentially, right? And
well, because he also keeps seeing like visions in the flames, and Melisandre is like feeding him these lines that you are the king, you are meant to be on the throne. So I think he's being advised in a way, and I don't even know if he would really be vying for this throne if it wasn't for everybody else's opinion. Like
yeah,
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like
he's definitely being being manipulated, it seems like.
yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
That seems like he is. I mean, that is what's going on here. But yeah, because I think that it gets to a certain point at like what cost is this really worth it to him at this point, right? Like he's already
Right.
I mean, this isn't it, right? He goes through more on this journey, which will
Yeah.
to come. But yeah, so
Well, yeah, this is like but I think that's when, like, just like how Bronn and Tyrion have like a nice like juxtaposition like with their banter. It's like I think the same goes with Davos and Stannis.
absolutely.
Like it's I think I read somewhere that it's like Davos is kind of like Stannis's conscience,
Mhm.
and it's like it's the good part of his conscience. It's the like
Yeah. He brings him back down to earth, essentially. And then, like, they kind of illustrate that in this scene because Davos is like, I know why you're here and I know why you want me to come because you don't like this either, what's going on. And that's why you want me there to kind of oversee all this stuff with you and steer you in the right direction. Like, Davos calls him out in this scene because he's like, why else would you fucking be here telling me this? And while I don't approve of it. And what I really liked about this scene, too, is that Davos, he's like, okay, I'll let you free, but don't ever like raise your hand in Melisandre again. And he says, or doubt what she does. He's like, well, I'm going to. Like he kind of just tells him straight up. He's like, I'm going to. If I don't agree with something, I'm gonna tell you I don't agree with it. Like he stands firm. Like even like at risk of like not being let free. And like Stannis is like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like what I mean? But like
right, because there's a bigger picture. Like he knows that there's something bigger out there that like he needs Davos out. He can't have him trapped.
Yeah, no,
or locked up.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad that he kind of had second thoughts on this whole situation because, like, knowing that Davos was down there over some stupid fucking reason, just like his shit was a shitty thing to begin with, right? And I think he's a great character. And again, someone who still has like mad respect for Stannis, like after everything that he's done and that he's witnessed and how he's like, again, advised against a lot of this shit with the black magic type shit, and he didn't listen. And he still has a lot, even in this moment, like when he sees him, like he's like, oh, your grace or whatever, like, and he's literally locked up and he's like still showing him respect. He's not just like, fuck this guy at this point.
Well,
right? Like,
I think it's because like really he is like the next heir, because Robert doesn't have any legitimate biological children.
Right.
So it's like in that sense, it's like, yeah, if you're like an honorable person, you're gonna look at Stannis and be like, yeah, you are technically like,
right.
but like Jay said, like they don't have like, 23andMe or, ancestry.com. So it's like, how else are you
Well,
gonna prove it?
Right.
just gotta look at their face, apparently.
I mean, though, like, and quite honestly, like, fuck, Ned co-signed this guy. Ned
That's what I
fucking.
was gonna say. Didn't Ned look in the book?
Don't
Yeah.
forget. No, but Ned originally sent the letter for him to be the king. She's right, because that he was supposed to be the king and it was taken from him. It wasn't, that message didn't get delivered. The Lannisters made some moves. Like that's basically what put them in that position, right? Like Ned did say while he was like that, for that one moment where he had the power, he got him to sign that over, and he made him his brother Stannis king, because they were all like beefing at that time, the Baratheons, right? Like, but he kind of like that it should be his, like out of everybody else, because Rob, whatever, you want the fucking North, like this is his illusions of grandeur, this fucking North shit that he's going, like whatever, okay, yeah, you want the North, but like everything else, like everybody else is wrong in this instance, right? Like I get, like I know Gendry, like we know that he's technically like the son of Robert, but no one else.
He's not legitimate, right?
Right. So like, yeah, it should be Stannis's. It's very true.
Ancestry right here.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the picture of this episode. But yeah, no, so this is a good scene. I like this scene. I thought it kind of said a lot about Stannis and, like you said, and Davos's relationship. This moment. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we're back to the second sons. They
back over in Essos.
Yeah, they discuss what to do with the situation that they've been dealt here, and they admit that they can't deal with 8,000 Unsullied. They'll have to basically sneak in there and kill Daenerys in the night. This is what the conclusion that they come to, right? And they speak about who will do it. And then they basically, like, instead of drawing straws, they do some sort of game with like some coins to basically see who draws the coin, who will end up going to kill Daenerys.
Yeah, whoever, or this game was so stupid. Yeah. Like, I mean, this just goes to, I don't know, like he had like, okay, so Miro, Mr.,
cock of the walk. Yeah.
Yeah. Big dick energy over here. He pulls out these 3 coins, I guess, from the 3 different places that they're from. I think one was from Mir, one was from Bravos, and one was from Pentos, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he said whoever gets the Bravosi coin is the one who is slated to do it. So he gives it to this like whore that's sitting on his lap, and like she closes her eyes while he's picking the coins or explaining which ones the coins are, and then he tasks her with going out and like, here, give one of these coins to this person, and this, like, one of the 3 of us, just hand us any random coin. Why is she walking around with her eyes closed?
I know. I don't know. This is a really stupid. And he's like, come here, girly. Like, you got something there for me, Dario, whatever.
Like, why is her eyes closed? Her eyes needed to be closed when he was selecting the coin, or when he was
literally in her hand.
But it's in her hand.
I know.
All she has to do is drop off the random coins, and like with whoever, she doesn't know which one is a Bravosi coin.
Right.
Like, all she has to do is just drop them off. Why are her eyes closed?
He is a whore. It's like Goodfellas, Sopranos. She was a whore. No, maybe she doesn't know any better. I don't know. You're right. That's a good observation, though. Oh man, see, this is the type of comments you need to come on for, Christina. Like, that's true. I never thought of it, but that is really.
Was it this chick that did the passing around?
That's sitting on that.
Well, also, like, even this scene, like, he's just so crass.
One with a side boob here.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not see the nipple right here, bro? How do you not?
It's
Sorry,
on
I
the
was
other
just
side. See,
wondering
it's like
that.
you could see the outline like
They used
right
No,
there.
that's just a shadow.
It's
But
What
even
about
in this
this one over
scene,
here?
this
Look,
dude,
this one over here. Like,
he
look,
like
it's right
grabs her
there.
vagina.
Right.
Like he just like full on grabs it. It's just like, what are you doing, Donald Trump? Like, relax.
Donald Trump grabs her by the pussy over here.
That's it.
He's so crass, like this
Yeah.
character. I mean, it's fantastic. Like it's such a good scene, but
These are the type
you
of
know,
bags that you watch this show for, though. Let's be honest.
yeah.
They excel in this type of shit, Game of Thrones. But then, Buddy Dario gets the coin that it says he has to go kill Daenerys, and he's like, Valar Morghulis, or whatever he says. He gets the coin, right? And he's like, I got the coin, right? And then that's kind of just cuts the scene, just ends right there.
Okay, I'm gonna make a really
I had
wild
a
statement.
question mark, wondering why.
Doesn't like Dario Naharis look like if a chipmunk or like a hamster turned into a human? Like,
Hold on. Let's
you
see.
know,
You
like if
judge.
you took like a little hamster and he's like,
Yeah. Let's put a picture of a hamster up to it. Who is that actor? I've seen this guy in other things. I couldn't remember. I didn't.
don't know.
I've
This one?
seen him in something.
No.
Oh, the other one, the one on the right.
This one?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, like, you know,
He looks like
maybe-
Aquaman's brother, bro.
no, that's not a good picture. But you know when he like looks into the camera and he's like Valar Morghulis,
Yeah.
and like he has like his little teeth, and he kind of looks like if like a hamster or a chipmunk turned into
Look at that.
What is he in? Go down. What is this guy in?
Deadpool.
Oh, Magic Mike. There you go.
Oh, there
It's
you go.
Magic Mike over here dancing. I don't know. The British version. Look.
Oh, he was in Alita Battle Angel. I like that movie.
Hold on,
Yeah, that's based on a manga. I know. Yeah, that's pretty fun. I like the manga a lot too. Maleficent, Born. I can't.
Oh, Deadpool Ajax. He's a.
That's where I
Deadpool.
fucking know him from. Deadpool. Yes.
I was gonna say, is it Deadpool?
That's where I know him from. Ajax. Yeah. I remember him from
I
that.
was gonna say that one you gotta know him from, but
Bad guy opposite Deadpool in that movie. Yes. Yes. That's
Okay.
where I know him from. That's basically the only other thing I know him from.
that's all he's really in. And other than that, he's in these weird.
That's Alita, but I don't remember him in that. But yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Goofy scene for sure. It was kind of ridiculous. I think they could have came up with a better way to determine this, but okay.
But they could show he's in the show right now in London, a London show. It's like because he's from England, right? So
Right.
I think he does a lot of that kind of stuff for and he gets
So-
something on Netflix. But I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, me neither. But Tyrion visits Sansa in this next scene.
Yeah,
there?
unfortunately.
No,
Yeah.
it's the wedding day.
Shay angrily answers the door. What does he say? She calls him handsome, Sansa, and he jokes about how he's the man of her dreams, and he asks for a moment alone with her, and he's kind of.
So look at his poor cute little face, man.
Oh,
Tyrion
So bad for him.
Tyrion tells her he didn't ask for this, and he will no longer be a prisoner, but his wife, but basically a prisoner in marriage. And he tells her he knows how she feels. She says, "No, you don't." He admits that he doesn't, and that she doesn't know how he feels about this, but he promises never to hurt her. So he does a very noble thing, at least, and he tries to reassure her despite this shitty fucking situation we're both in. Like, I'm not gonna do anything bad to you. And I liked that he at least went and did this, like, and said this to her, because this is a fucked up enough situation without her going into this like situation not knowing what his intentions are in that sense.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I mean, so I agree with you. I like that he did this too to put her fears at ease, or her, like, of course, nobody wants the situation, but at least, like, he's trying to put a positive spin on it, like Marjorie did. But on the same hand, it's like, if you think about it, Joffrey said the same thing to her, like back in season like 1 or 2, when he's like, "I'll never hurt you. Don't worry, I'll take care of you." So it's like, and I forgot about that. And then and then so you're kind of like, she doesn't, he's a Lannister, like she doesn't really know. I mean, yeah, it's nice because we know
Yeah, they all
Tyrion,
come
but
from
she doesn't
incest,
really
but
know
maybe-
Tyrion. And so it's kind of like she's hearing the same words from the same family. And it's like, I don't know if I believe you.
I see that kind
And
of.
I think
different-
that's what
Yeah.
like perpetuated like the next few scenes, like, or the next, not scenes, but the things that happen in the next over the next few episodes. I think that's another reason why.
Yeah, good point. Good observation. I forgot about that. That's true. That's true. Yeah, that she's already been proven wrong about her assumptions about someone another of the Lannisters. Yeah, you're right. And
Yeah.
how fucked up he was. And he did play the nice card at first too. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's a good point. I don't know. I never thought of it that way. Yeah, no wonder she's so untrustworthy at this moment in time in the situation, right? I did like how the scene ended though. He's like, "Do you drink wine?" And she's like, "Well, when I have to." Well, today you have to. Do you drink wine? Like, I love Tyrion. Yeah, he's the best. Yeah, he's just like, yeah, today we're gonna be drinking a lot. Yeah, so,
Is that like something common? Like, I don't know. I haven't gone on a date in like a million years, and Nico, I know you haven't either. Like, you know what I mean, with a new person.
Yeah,
But
but
like, say,
Nico, let me tell you
no, no,
about
no. But like,
drinking wine
when
with
you're like,
Nico.
I don't know, is this
Okay?
like part of dating culture now? When it's just like, I remember if you're trying to impress someone, you're like, yeah, I'll have like that drink. I'm not gonna drink my usual like whiskey sour or whatever I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna, oh yeah, like give me that like bourbon on the
There's-
rocks. Like I'm gonna try to impress some. I don't know. Like, does that still exist? Like,
I tried that
or
one
if you're not a
the last weekend, or a couple weekends ago when I went out with Nico, and I had to get the non-alcoholic IPA. I wanted to be cool like these guys, right? But you know what? Honestly, some people think it's weird. I've dated some girls that thought it was weird that I didn't drink because they couldn't have a drink with me. I was like, fuck off. I'm gonna smoke a joint then. Screw you.
yeah,
You
like I
know?
don't know. Like, is that like if you're not a beer drinker, but the person you're
I don't
into is
drink.
a beer
Period.
drinker, like, are you gonna just drink beer because of them? Like,
I will say I drink wine now still to this day, and I probably drank wine more so because maybe
Nico does this.
no, because
Christine
yeah,
likes it.
or like with women in
No,
general. Yeah, I probably, or you start off by having sometimes a glass with dinner at the holidays and shit like that. But then I think like if you do go out and women, like if I probably had dated did drink
medication
wine,
time.
I think I was okay with getting a glass of wine to join them and having some wine. Absolutely, yeah. I never was a wine drinker before then. I'll say that.
Right.
So yeah,
Okay.
I think there's something to that. I don't think like in the long run, if it's something you don't like I would never continue to like just do it to appease like this situation. You know what I mean? Like the relationship or makes my significant other happy. No, I wouldn't. If I don't like,
Fuck that. No, I.
I
But I've had that done to me. Like people think it's weird, bro, that I
plus
don't
peer
drink
pressure.
alcohol.
I mean, when it happens to you, because people are like, "Oh, what's
It's
wrong
like
when you don't drink?" Yeah, I know that's a different story.
if you would have just seen did you see when I said medication time? It was a handful of medicine I had to take. I don't think I can drink when I'm doing that. But Nico it's just funny you asked about that because I had messaged him yesterday and I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm just having a glass of wine, catching up on my comics." So he's one of those guys, right? Like he can just enjoy a glass of wine, sipping it,
Yeah,
Just,
yeah. If I'm
why
sitting-
go hard on the rocks like fucking whiskey or rye and that on a weekday? He just wants a glass of wine, man.
there you go.
Like,
Right. I like a good glass of wine.
yeah,
Okay. All
I-
right.
they
Sorry
all
to
taste the same
detour,
to me.
No,
but
I've tried them.
that's a good aside.
makes
No,
sense.
it's true. I knew that's what Jay was gonna get at because he was just like, oh, those guys.
It was just funny that you brought that up. Yeah.
I don't know what you're trying to say there. You're one of those guys drinking wine. Yeah, I like.
Okay, he goes a freaking
yeah, what is one of
alcoholic,
those
bro.
guys?
Like,
Are you one of those guys that like smokes a joint? Are you one of those
wrong-
guys? Like, what does that mean?
come on. Enough with the.
I'm
enough
drinking
with the,
tea.
Yeah, Jay doesn't
Am I
like.
one of those
Come on.
girls?
He just likes to fucking bug people. Is like we put on the spot, Christine.
I love doing everything. I don't know. But put me on the
I
spot.
can
Go
put
ahead.
you on the spot. You want me to put you on the spot? You want me to do it? You want me to do it? You want me to do it? You want me to do it?
Yeah.
So this next scene,
He knows what I'm going to talk about.
speaking about put on the spot, this next scene here.
Oh yes, yes.
March.
Next scene.
This is a great scene. This is a great scene. This scene. Marjorie speaks to Cersei in this scene. And at the start of their, them talking,
You got a picture for it.
they're at the wedding. They're kind of exchanging fake pleasantries with one another. And she mentions, Marjorie says, "Oh, we're sisters now," to her. And Cersei asks her,
Look, don't they look like sisters, bro?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
scene,
sisters. Yeah.
And Cersei asks her if she knows the song, the Reigns of Castamere in this moment. which is the name of the next episode, by the way, guys. But she asks her in this scene if she knows this song. And she mentions, yeah, no, I'm sure not as well as you, I'm sure. But yeah, I've heard it like a million times since being here. You guys are always playing this fucking song. And I believe we've also heard this song in another episode previous to this, maybe even in season 2. I can't remember. This isn't the first mention of it, though. This may be the first like explanation of it, but I think it's played one other time, I think maybe. I might be wrong on that, but I feel like it has been referenced at least or played.
Yeah, like it's just a different tone. Like it has a different like it just sometimes there might be more like it might be a little bit more upbeat.
I think they played it at the end of an episode or something previous to that.
Yeah.
At one point, I believe maybe like another like Lannister kind of episode of some sort. So, but yeah, she mentions that, and she proceeds to tell her the story about how her father wiped out the house and not to fuck with them pretty much, and she's now basically like the whole point of the story was that they wiped somebody out. Her father wiped somebody out, right, in war times or
Yeah,
something.
like so
Castle Rock.
no, so it was House Rain. So they were the second most powerful house in
Wealthiest, yeah.
Westeros. And obviously the Lannisters are not the powerful, but financially powerful as well. Like the Lannisters were number 1. They're always number 1. But number 2, it was at this time, it was the Rain house. And, you know,
which doesn't exist now, as they say. Yeah.
Basically, that's what happened because like the Rain leader, he betrayed Tywin, and then Tywin basically eradicated them. And that's what Cersei says, like, where is House Rain now? And, you know, and Marjorie's like, oh, they're gone. And she's like, that's putting it lightly. I would say slaughtered, you know? So I think she's also, because then she also makes a point Cersei makes a point to say, you know, oh, isn't House Tyrell like the second most powerful?
Yeah.
She's basically just threatening her, like telling her, like, I'm onto you. Like,
yeah, she's throwing
I'm
it
watching
in her head,
you,
but subliminally.
and be careful.
Yeah, the message is like, don't fuck with us, essentially, because this could happen to you just as easily as it happened to them, type of thing. Yeah,
right.
Message. That's why I kind of wrote down more of the message that was like came across through the story. But yeah, so thank you. That's what I mean. I couldn't recall the story in that sense.
I actually had to watch that scene like twice to really pay attention to like what was saying, because like, or what was
there's a lot going on, because they're like passing by people and they're chatting, but then they have the music going, and like it's a very there's a lot going on in that scene, and like the point was never lost on me, but like you said, the actual
story
itself was lost on me in that sense. But
hearing something about her saying that she's seeing bodies hanging from that was what I was saying, Casterly Rock, right?
Yeah, so Tywin, he hung the bodies of this other family, this other house, in Casterly Rock, basically to show other people, like, don't mess with us, because this is what will happen to you and your entire family.
Mm-hmm.
It's brutal, man. Tywin is brutal. Like, he's
yeah.
And you know what? You can't be that wealthy if you're not, man. Really, to be at the end of the day, you gotta be a fucking prick.
You have a lot of enemies too. Yeah, absolutely on the way up. But they, but yeah, the thing she says to her at the end here is like, if you ever call me sister again, I'll have you strangled in your sleep. And then she just walks off, and like Archie's just sitting there, like, a blank like look on her face, like what the fuck, right? Like he's like, oh shit, right?
Who am I fucking with? You now it's making you second guess on who you're fucking with.
Like Cersei always is like, you know, she's very like you know, her comments are always like, you know, very like I don't know.
They're deep. They're
blunt.
cutthroat.
They're blunt, but they're blunt, and she doesn't fuck around. She knows what to say and how to. Well, she's not. You know, some of them aren't that blunt. Some of them she tiptoes around, but she makes you. She puts it in your head that, you know, not to fuck around.
Yeah,
like she's really manipulating. She's real.
She's very cruel. She's very cruel. Yeah, you can tell. Like, yeah, she. You know? Yeah, the fucking way she threatens her though is so good. I actually seen Lena Headey in something recently that I just watched. Oh, she's in that show, Jay. You've been watching this, the White House Plumber show. She's the wife.
I've only watched the second. I haven't even watched the second episode yet.
I watched only 2
episodes. I want to wait till they all come out.
I only watched 2 episodes. She's Woody Harrelson's wife on that show. Her hair's black.
Okay.
That's Lena Headley in that. But yeah, she's
boy.
so good in this show. She's very good in this show. I just want to say she is one of also. I love to hate her, but I think she was very good in this show. Her character Cersei.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bitch.
So Joffrey walks up with a shit-eating grin on his face. Because
He walks up to Sansa,
yeah,
who's entered the steppe now because now the wedding ceremony is about to begin.
right. And since he's king, like he's kind of he says, "Well, your father is gone, so it's my duty to give you
Nice.
away to your husband." And when he does this, he takes away his little step stool that's kind of sitting beside him for him to actually put the cloak on Sansa's back, because that's like, I guess when you get married, you're supposed to do that. It's their
Yeah.
tradition. So to protect her,
Cloaking the bride, bring her under your protection.
so he kind of does it all in one foul swoop. Like he takes her up there, and then as he's turning, he like grabs like the little thing that Tyrion's gonna
He's
use.
a little cocky, hey, little prick. I would have hit him, man.
Yeah. So then he goes back down and starts like snickering, watching this go on. Like no one does
They're all
it.
laughing at him.
Yeah,
Poor guy, man.
And then he has to ask Sansa to actually lower herself so he can put the cloak on her back, because he's yeah, it's so sad. He's like actually trying to do it at first, and it's just like, yeah, this isn't working.
It's like angry, sad, all in one. Like that's a great face.
But he's
right
like,
there.
really, like it's just that he's like, really,
Yeah.
dude.
Like,
Well, it's like, first of all, it's your wedding day, and you're being embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like, that's awful.
Look at the height difference here, man. Like,
yeah.
not for anything.
Well, and
but
of
the
course,
poor
Sophie
guy's
Turner
upset.
is like also like a gazelle. She's like almost like 6 feet tall. You know, so it's like it would have been the
gazelle.
contrast is just even like
Yeah.
bigger. But if it was like Daenerys, for example, he probably would have been able to do it.
Right.
You know, a little. But anyways,
So that's a good scene too. I thought
made me
that.
laugh.
funny.
It's just in the middle of a weird scene. It kind of makes you laugh, right? Because it's kind of weird. He's got to marry Sansa, right? And then Joffrey, just being Joffrey, did what he did to his uncle. What a prick, man! I would do that to my uncle. To be honest with you, I'd kick his cane out or something like that. I don't know, man.
it's so mean.
Well, I can't say he didn't deserve it, because he treats Joffrey like shit too.
Yeah,
You know, he just thinks
tit
he's
for a tat.
yeah. So I mean, it sucks. But the next scene here, Lady Melisandre visits Gendry in his chambers and gives him a drink of wine. He's very untrustworthy of this whole situation, and she tries to assure him that this is all not a mistake. And then she starts undressing him and throws him on the bed and mounts him, has sex with him.
Oh, yeah.
Not to completion, but she ties him up in the process and
She's a tease. That one's another one. Fuck, man.
Yeah. Proceeds to put leeches on him for his blood, essentially, to suck out his blood. She puts three leeches on him, and the one of them goes into like on his crotch, which ouch, because like it kind of like sticks it into his pants. Yeah.
He's like, not there, and she does it anyways.
You see the teeth on them too, man. Like I don't have a picture here, but you see the fucking little teeth on them when she's putting them on there. You little fucking bitch.
Like he's crying out in pain about this, and then
blue balls, and then all of a sudden,
Sir Davos and Stannis walk through the door, and this is when she removes the leeches, and Stannis ends up throwing them on the fire. And obviously, this is some more voodoo type shit where he calls out the names of Robb Stark, Balon Greyjoy, and Joffrey Baratheon, and he calls them usurpers.
Yeah.
And obviously,
what does that mean?
Like traitors to the throne, I think, or something like that. Yeah, basically. And he's trying to say he's the one true king, and all these other people like trying to become king, essentially, or not worthy. Like basically, yeah, they shouldn't be given. They're doing some voodoo magic shit where he's like cursing them, essentially. It seems like in this.
Yeah.
Like cursing these men,
almost like, you know, Melisandre's like ghost thing that when and like she birthed and, you know, he went out and killed Renly. It's not the same, but it's similar. It's the same like blood magic kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Blood magic.
Blood magic's pretty crazy though. Let me tell you, I can't wait to see more. There better be.
Oh, her? Yeah, you see lots of her. I
I
think.
like the way she creates blood magic. She gets you.
Okay. What was your favorite scene between this tease or Theon's tease from last
Oh fuck,
episode?
man! I don't know. I like the redhead. Don't get me wrong. I love their hair.
I think this.
Right?
I think this one.
And she's kind of like more
Even though
mature,
it's-
but the other one was like it kind of threw me right off. It was like the poor guy was in pain and everything, and now he's got to get a boner on top of it. And I was like, I mean, it was okay for me as a viewer because I wasn't in pain on my end.
but mixed
Right, but-
messages a bit. Yeah, there was 2 women in that scene, but I think that this woman has a nicer body than those 2 women personally. That
Well, this one is more mature, if we shall say. The other ones look like more rookies. This one looked like she knew what she was doing.
She
you
knew
know?
what
It's
she
just
was
like,
doing.
I like this one, and then
Yeah,
she ended it with
like-
tying him up. All before the leeches was good stuff.
I mean, okay, I don't have the greatest picture of her for this one, but like,
Theon
I mean,
wasn't enjoying it really fully. That's what kind of was. Yeah, that scene was hot, but it was kind of like
she's like, look at his face, man. Like, it's just a fuckable face, bro. And it's just.
all
sorry.
right. Now you're going too deep. All right, that's enough now.
Well, you asked. I
It
mean,
is-
like, okay, the other two I didn't
This
even
is
see
watching the
face,
throne
man.
after midnight now. So like
This is when the shit gets crazy. It's because I watched that podcast earlier, bro. I'm feeling funny with the 3-way. It's kind of cool, man.
But thank you for asking.
okay,
Uh,
wedding reception.
yes.
Yes.
Back at
You
the
brought
wedding.
that out, so it wasn't my fault, Christina. I'm
Back
sorry.
at the wedding, Tyrion is getting hammered.
As
And-
one does and should do at their wedding.
yes, absolutely.
As you should.
I'm not
Oh,
shitting.
I know one person here that did the same thing. I got video.
He's
I
talking
should
about
put that up. Not this. I should just put, and then you'll have the Sansa looking face over here. People watching the
yeah.
episode.
That was me for
Um,
2 days afterward.
Yeah.
I'm
fuck,
dying.
am I alive?
as you do, though. Yeah, absolutely. You have to have a good time at your wedding. But listen, I really like this scene. Olena's going over the confusing family like relations now due to the marriages. And at one point, she's like,
That was crazy. Yeah, I tried to write it down. I couldn't. I lost it.
I
Man.
know,
I said, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother. Do you know how it works, Christina? Do you know how it works?
Sure, Loris.
Confusion.
and
Like-
Marjorie, though, by the end of it, are like, holy fuck. All right. Yeah. She's just like, yeah, well,
Basically goes around like this into a circle and back to the same person. Really, at the end, you know, it's like, hey, everybody share each other, and then here we go. We end up at the same person.
but now you're his nephew, but you're his you're his
sister,
uncle.
and your sister's uncle, yeah, and your mother's brother, and fucking, I don't know.
Getting
bro.
all
It
out
was like-
Alabama up in here.
Yeah, it was straight up Southern
Oh,
hospitality, brother.
is it in this episode? It may be the next one. Yeah, I think it's the next one. There's a similar scene like this though that we're gonna have to talk about in episode 9 when you come on.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a similar scene where there's a lot of names
Fuck, man.
and he's like, I can't remember your name.
Oh yeah, yeah,
said-
yeah. I know what you're talking
I
about.
said the grandmother. You know, this is how I wrote this one because I told you that as I was reading it. I wrote the grandmother. You know, at the wedding is explaining how how the whole
love
family
her.
works,
Great
and I
scene.
wrote LOL. I don't even know how the fuck it works. I even wrote LOL over here just so I know to laugh with you guys.
Yeah, Sansa.
Just
Yeah,
so I remember.
you laugh. So Sansa leaves him all hammered there, and for a moment, and Tywin threatens him by saying he's too hammered and wouldn't be able to perform in giving her a child that night, and kind of threatens him and
Now,
says,
is that true? I don't drink, so if you're too hammered, do you not be able to
You're not
perform? Like
getting
Whiskey
been
dick
too
is
stoned and it-
100% a thing.
"Yes,
I've been too stoned, and you know, I've not known it was up. Because I've got no feeling in my body, but it's there. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just understanding.
it's a real thing." I mean, thankfully, that's
Okay,
not like
I'm
something
just-
that happens that often. Like I've probably had a maybe, but it's
That's why
happened.
there's Viagra these days, everybody. No.
You know, it's probably happened a couple of times. Yeah, in my day, yes, it happens. Yeah, it happens.
Same. It's happened to me too a couple times.
She's got whiskey dick herself. Hey,
Yeah.
but so that means if you have one or two, you're okay. But any more than that, you're fucked.
Yeah, it's when you're like blackout, like
Like
Oh,
when you can't even like stand.
yeah, it's
Takes
like-
a lot, but that's like
yeah. Well, that's what I mean. That's what he is in
the
this.
worst is losing it halfway, man. Like losing it halfway has got to be the worst, man. It's like, oh, okay, now I feel old.
So Loras walks over to Cersei, looking out.
Wait! Before you go there,
Go ahead.
Tyrion says the like greatest line of all time.
What does he
He
say?
calls himself the god of tits and wine,
Oh
Yeah.
yes, sorry. Yes, he does say that here. Yeah.
and he said he's gonna erect
He makes funny jokes.
He's gonna
man.
erect a statue in the next brothel he goes to, because
He was
his father's like,
fucking
"You're too drunk,"
shit-faced.
and he's like, "I know what I'm doing. This is not my first rodeo."
His father's
Yeah.
doubting this. He's like, don't worry about it. Whatever. yeah, exactly. That's awesome. He does say those lines.
Yeah.
Good quotes there.
I
But
wonder if I
then,
wrote him out here.
speaking of good quotes, though, Loras then walks over to Cersei, who's looking out the window, and obviously they're next to be wed there. And he walks up. He's like, she's like, looking out, not even paying attention to him. He's like, my father once told me nobody cares what your father once told you. He's trying to like make her feel better about the situation, and she's like, "Fuck
trying to
off."
be nice, little conversation. We're gonna be married, just
Nobody cares. Like, it's just so cold, like the coldest fucking like bitch.
nobody
response ever.
cares what your father once told you.
No eye contact.
shall
Fucking
bellish.
leave. Yeah. So Joffrey congratulates Sansa and says, you'll finally have a Lannister in you. Maybe I'll come by later tonight after my uncle goes to sleep, which is super fucking creepy of him to come on to her like that. Yeah. And this is mind you, this is like one of the only times he's actually showed like some sort of
He's
sexual.
a creep, yeah.
He's really
That was like almost like pedophile creep.
the masochist, man. That's what gets him off. Like, we've already seen scenes of him.
Yeah, I think he's like more interested in the rape thing, because he even said he's like, I'll have like Sir Meryn like hold you down, and it's like you're just vile.
Yeah, he's a masochist. That's ones where they get off if like people like are getting tortured or hurt or shit like that. You get hard. You get hard, right? So that's what I think he is.
Dude, I just went back to that quote, sorry, that Christina just said just a second ago. But he even says, "What did you once call me? A drunken little lust-filled beast?" Right? That's he said to his old man.
Yeah.
And then he went on with the one you said. I was dying that whole part because it just reminded me of like when my friends of mine get drunk and they start telling jokes, and it's just some of them are funny and some of them are just like,
Yeah, the worst is when you tell a drunk story and it doesn't go anywhere, or a joke when you're drunk.
Yeah.
And you know that it's not go, and it just falls flat, and somebody who's like not drunk looks at you, and you're like, yeah. That didn't go. I had one of those moments like a week or two ago, and it was just I felt like such an asshole. I'm just like, yep, gonna walk away now. Like, it was one of those things, right? Anyways.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
I have one of those moments every day when I get up.
So he then pushes for a bedding ceremony, as we previously talked about, I think on the last episode. Was it earlier this episode or last episode we talked?
Last episode.
Yeah. And, he kind of tries to get everyone to bring her Sansa upstairs. And Joffrey said, it's tradition. And like, kind of like, Tyrion wants no part of this. He keeps saying there will be no bedding ceremony, like all drunkenly, like slurring his words. Always, I know there'll be no bedding ceremony. They keep saying this, and he keeps pushing for it. And then he just yells out. He puts a knife onto the table. He's like, then they'll be fucking your wife with
the wooden cock.
like, if you do this, yeah.
That's the old school dildos.
And then I love the Joffrey response. What did you say? Like, he's like, freaks out. What did you say? Like, he's just like
a mad king. It sounded like
so taken aback by like what he says, because it's like in front of everybody, right? Like, yeah, right. I just like his reaction when he said that. Like, what?
Yeah,
and you could see the rage building up in his eyes.
Anger.
Yeah.
I got to give it up to him. He did very good, the actor, in that.
He's such a good actor. Like, that's like, oh, it's perfect.
Yeah, he is good.
The poor guy didn't get much roles after that, man. Like, I looked at his credits. This really fucked his whole thing up, man.
Because sometimes typecasted as horrible characters, and then everyone hates on them. It's like what happened with Skylar on Breaking Bad. Everyone fucking hated that. Well, she got death threats after that. She got
because she sucked.
Yeah, she did suck, but she did a good job as that horrible fucking character. To your point, I know. Believe me,
very fine line, man.
but she literally got death threats after doing that role. That is a real story because people hated that fucking character so much, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I wonder if she's
intense.
gotten anything from that afterwards, because I thought I seen her in
Oh, she
something
does.
else
She
after.
still
But
works.
yeah,
Still works. But I think it was just like for a while there. I think sometimes you do some of these roles, you either get typecasted or they only will want to cast you as horrible fucking people after they see you do something.
well, you said about Woody. Woody, there, you just mentioned him. He was typecasted as a dummy for the longest time.
Woody Harrelson,
in
yeah.
Cheers, yeah, right. Until he had to come out with some smart shows, some smart movies.
Uh,
Yeah, just to your point, that's just kind of crazy.
absolutely. And then Tywin says he can dispense with the bedding, I'm sure. Tyrion did not mean to threaten the king because like clearly he's pissed off at this point and he's kind of reeling back. Tyrion, and then Tyrion changes his tune and he's like,
He turns up the like dramatics with the drunkenness, and this is all good. This is amazing. All of this.
Lines? You have this written down? Go ahead.
No, I don't have it all written out, but I do
I
like.
wonder if I could see the quotes here.
I have it here. He's like, "Oh, a bad joke, Your Grace," and then he basically talks about his small cock. And your uncle is clearly drunk, and he's like, "I am." It's like, and what does he say?
Like, come, wife.
My tiny drunk cock and I have a job to do. And he grabs him. Yeah, come, wife. He's like, and then he's like, I vomited once during the act. Here, let me tell you all about it.
I'll put you in the mood.
Come on, I'll put you in the mood. Yeah. Oh man, and I also love the line when they actually get to the room and he's sitting there, pours himself another drink, and he's looking at Sansa, and he's like, "Astoundingly long neck, you have one." He's like looking at her long neck, and she's standing there.
Yeah,
and then he asks her how old she is. She says 14, and she
that
said,
threw me right off there, man.
Yeah. And
can't even look at her the same anymore.
He says, "My Lord Father has commanded me to consummate this marriage." And this is when she goes.
This is so powerfully, like, and drunk, though, at the same time.
He hates himself right now.
He's being cocky, yeah. Like not cocky, but like remorseful cocky. I don't know if that's you can put those two in a sentence, like, because you feel bad, but
well, it's like we talked about earlier. He's conflicted because it's like, yeah, he thinks she's beautiful, and like now this is his wife, so of course he has like a duty, right? And he doesn't. I think the other thing is, it's like, which we don't talk about, but he is trying to uphold her name and value as well. Like,
of course, she's
it's like he knows that, like, as a husband, he has a job to do, and he doesn't want to do wrong by her by not doing it.
He doesn't want to sully her name,
as a husband and wife, right? And as her as a wife now, like, he doesn't want to do that to her, but he's just conflicted. I think it's just like a whole.
Yeah, this is it's a bad situation to be in for sure, and this is when she goes and pours herself a drink.
Yep.
And she starts to kind of strip down
off her clothes, and I was hoping, man, but it's then, like I said, I couldn't.
You were hoping.
No, because then she said 14, and I was like, no, please put it back on. In a sense,
I don't know how old she was when she actually played this, though.
17.
So there you go. No, so that wouldn't have happened.
Well, she's legal nowadays, so I can look. No, it's still not right, man. Fuck. Never mind.
Nope.
So
I take it back.
He starts to take off the clothes and sits on the bed. He tells her to stop. He says, I won't share your bed with you until you want me to. And
his father can go fuck himself.
And then she asks, she's like, well, what if I never do? And so my watch begins, and he just like laughs and collapses, drunk on the fucking little sofa thing.
The chaise lounge.
Hey, that's a real man. Like, at least he's being a gentleman. For fuck's sakes, like, this guy is the nicest guy in the world. I know he fucks whores and all that stuff, but he's the nicest guy in the world. He's gonna he can get a queen out of this and fucking, you know what I mean, be the shit. But he's being a gentleman. He just wants Shay, man. He likes his horse.
Yeah.
Like, you feel bad for him? I feel bad for him, man.
I do.
Really
of course I do.
I feel bad for Sansa too.
Throughout this whole process, they both are. Yeah, of course you got to feel bad for him. Yeah.
I don't want to shed a tear for them, man. Sorry.
Well, don't get too attached to anybody on Game of Thrones. I've already told you this, first of all.
Yes, I know. The first fucking episode, I was told, they don't care about your fucking emotions or your feelings.
They don't. So
thank God I didn't watch it week to week. I told you guys.
Daenerys, this next scene,
broke my TV.
bathed
Oh, Jay, it's your favorite.
by
Next scene.
her
The girls are back.
Melisande. Yeah, she says she mentions that
In a
she
bath, bro.
yeah, which is again, I think this may be one of the last times you see her naked, if I'm not mistaken. It's
I'm
very
surprised they had baths there like that. Like, I mean,
course,
she had
she's
a
a
nice
queen.
looking one. It was
uh,
made out of steel.
she's getting bathed by her, and she says that she knows 19 languages, and then she goes on to correct her pronunciation of Dothraki in this scene, and I like it because Daenerys is kind of like a little bit full of herself in this moment, I feel like, and like the woman like almost is like rolling her eyes, and she's like, yeah, well, no, you got to say it like this, like right? She's like,
This
well,
is
I
as
guess.
close, guys.
I guess it's been a while since I've used the language, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, 100%.
That's as close as you're gonna get to see the ladies today, guys. That's all the picture I have here. But yeah, there you go. Just about bath time, everybody.
So I kind of thought that was a funny scene just because you kind of see her, she obviously clever and she's like, but she's not perfect. So like, I
Yeah.
like,
What's her name again?
Melisande?
yeah, Masande.
Miss Sunday? Like, okay, I keep messing those two up, Melisandre and her.
Yeah, because there's
Melisande.
Melisandre and then there's
Yeah.
Melisande.
Yeah, Melisandre. Yeah, just because they're so close and
Yeah.
I get you.
It's like
no,
Bran and Braun. Like it's like they're
A lot
I
of
just really said Khaleesi's servant.
so a man sneaks in and puts a knife to her throat during this moment, and he says he wants Daenerys,
No.
and that he says that he was sent to kill her. He doesn't want to, and reveals that he's got a couple of heads with him, and that it's
This is crazy.
Dario. Wasn't it Dario? Is that his name?
Dario Naharis.
Yeah, the first two.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he basically explains that like your beauty meant more to me. We disagreed, as we know where we left them. He was tasked to be the one to go and kill him. He said he disagreed with them.
Yeah.
They said that he has no choice. He said, I always have a choice. And they drew their swords. I drew mine. And basically ended up killing them. And then he said she asked him to swear to her that he will fight her. And there's this whole dramatic scene of her getting out of the bath, like butt naked and kind of like,
wow. That's what I wrote. I wrote here, I went, what the fuck? I said, Khaleesi's tits and ass. What the fuck, man?
but like,
wow.
he
Bye,
could
ladies.
still
And that's it. Because I didn't think I was going to see him anymore.
respect in that moment, though, like coming up out of the bath, like obviously he's in love with her, but he
She
does
was dominant.
down her though. Like he's kind of like, like he's got his
His brother would have jumped on that. Or the other guy that was there that he killed, the one, the first one that was talking all shit. Yeah, he would have jumped on that, bro, as soon as he seen her come out of the bath. Like, he wouldn't even have waited for her to come out of the bath, I don't think. But you can see he was more of the loyal one out of the three. But you know what? It's kind of funny because if you kind of look, there's kind of a vague resemblance, except his hair being blonder. There is a vague resemblance to her first love, which was Mr. Dothraki there.
Yeah.
Right?
Jason
Mr.
Momoa.
Aquafish.
She has a type.
Yeah, so
seems like it. This guy looked like more like a Fabio type. So.
He's more of a pretty boy than Jason.
Yeah.
Momoa.
Yes.
Yeah.
The human hamster.
Yeah.
For this season.
What'd you think about this scene, Christina?
I don't know. Like, I mean, okay, good. I wish they had. I mean, the episode was called "The Second Sons." Like, I wish they had done more with this, like these characters, maybe. Just because it's like we don't know enough, and I don't know if I necessarily believe Dario when he's like, "Oh yes, they took up a sword against me, and so I had no choice. I had to do this for your honor." He could have just killed them. Like, he could have just
isn't
killed
he
them.
the one that said Valera whatever?
Valor Morghulis.
Yeah, don't they have? They must have something to do with those guys. I feel like maybe because why would he say that word? Why would he say that word if that was the word that one guy promised to for Arya back then?
Oh, because that's like a slang. It's like what they use like in that part of the world. Like if you're from.
Oh, so it's like every city.
Yeah, he just said it because I think that it's from Bravos, right?
Okay. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out where that relation came from, right?
Yeah.
No, I think I don't know. Like I don't know if I necessarily believe his story to her, but whatever, it's good enough for her. She's like, yeah, sure, I don't care. Just like bend the knee then.
He's clearly smitten with her though, and like that's very clear. Obviously, he tries
You know, it's so funny. Like I don't actually get that. I
interesting.
You
don't
don't get
like
what?
because
He froze for a minute.
I don't know. Like I don't get that like that vibe. Like because I guess maybe because it was compared to his other co-captain who was so gross.
Right.
That it's like I don't know if you're just saying these words to
Mhm.
like be a counter part to what he's saying. So it's like I don't know if he actually is like into her or if he's just saying it.
Doing it for the power trip, like, or to go for maybe be her queen or something like that, or try to get work his
I don't
way
know.
in
At
there
this
that way.
point, I don't know. It just I never got I know other
Sold
people
on
think
yeah.
like, "Oh, he's like hopelessly in love with her." And I don't get it. I don't see
I
that.
wouldn't say like hopelessly in love, but
He's
he
like infatuated with her.
yeah, I think it's more that. I mean, that again, the fact that he cut off those dudes' heads is pretty like hardcore, I think. And like I know that was the whole
Well, he was probably set up. That's why too,
but he
right?
could also be trying to weasel his way into this situation and get close to her too for other
I was
ulterior.
thinking
And
that too.
this is why I wish they should have like added an extra scene or maybe they did film it and they just cut it in like post production. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like I feel like they should have elaborated a little bit more on like what happened or who these people are. Like how did they even come to be? Like how did they
Well, you know
like
what's funny with these little short stories that you're saying, who are these people and how did they come to be? I wonder if there's ever going to be anything in the prequel that they have now, right? Then that's going to bring up those people and touch on them, maybe, so that you kind of have a visual of where they came from in a sense. I don't know. I always wondered that because I've noticed there's certain ones where you guys are saying the story kind of dies in a sense or it doesn't go nowhere. So and or this one here, like and you said you wish that they it was just too easy for him to
Right.
just cut off their heads like that, considering they were all pigs. If you thought about it.
What are the instances where I wonder if the book fleshes out these characters?
probably and you know what probably so like here I am like talking
No,
about
no,
it.
no,
Like,
no, no,
No, but it's probably like
yeah. I
probably
hear
in the books, like you were saying, right, Neeks? Probably. Who knows, right?
they take more time in fleshing
The
out
books.
books, and then they're also more descriptive and more like, you know what I mean? They kind of go more into things, like I feel like, but yeah, I don't know, but you're right.
But I also
Introducing these characters, we really didn't get much of a background on them, and already we're kind of moving on from the current situation.
yeah, it's just I don't know.
So yeah, like I mean, this could have been anybody. Any guy could have just walked into her life in this
yeah.
moment, like I'll help you. Like it seemed kind of easy, like you know
We're
what I mean?
still wondering about Jorah, right? Like and all that stuff in a sense, really. Like
Yeah.
you're like, what's his whole thing behind it? But it, and in this scene, like I said, at the end, just to finish that scene off, but I was the same way. I was like, oh my god, they made an appearance again.
Right. So
That was
getting
it.
to the final scenes here, Shay comes in
Nice.
with breakfast and is acting very cold towards Tyrion, thinking he slept
Poor
with
guy.
he's like
I'll show you what he does.
he's like sleeping on her robe, and like she goes and like pulls it out from under his head, and like he bangs his head on the fucking like the Shay lounge or whatever. And but when she goes to change the sheet, she doesn't find any blood in there, so she knows that she didn't end up having sex, and basically shoots him a look. And
don't mind the white spot. The white spot's because
I'm just trying to talk through this scene. Thanks for fucking talking over there. I'm trying to finish this fucking scene.
No, I'm trying to show
Jay
the blood.
wanted
No
to
blood
show
on
us
my.
his clean sheets.
There you go.
I wanted to show you there was no blood on the sheet.
Yes, there's no blood on
Hope not.
It's a little bit of white stains, but no blood, guys. Don't worry.
Wash your sheets. What's wrong with
Oh,
you?
I'm just joking. I was just
All
trying to
these
make
men.
a joke with this scene because the way Shay comes in and fucking is the first thing she goes to look at because she wants to know if he fucking slept with her, right? Is if he popped her fucking cherry, is basically what they're alluding to.
You know how it works, Jay.
Well, I'm just saying, right?
For those of you
Yeah,
listening
I called
that
it
don't
the
know how
cherry
it
stain,
works.
okay? I don't know what it's called, okay, but I called it the cherry stain, and I wrote it down on my
The
notes here.
cherry stain.
I don't know what it's called. Sorry, guys. I apologize.
No,
I
that's like
apologize to all the Game of Thrones fans, but it's the truth. I don't know what it's called. If anybody knows
Nico
what
just
it's
wants to
called,
get to this last scene.
just put it through.
he shoots him a look and is very happy about this fact in this scene.
There you go. You fit and scene. No,
I've only been trying to do that for 5 minutes, but thanks. And
I'm sorry, I'm talkative today.
listen, I'm just getting to the last fucking scene. We can talk a whole fucking lot at the end here. Like
Okay.
Sam and Gilly, in this next
That's
scene, they
crazy.
find a shack to sleep in for the night. There's ravens there, faces in the trees. It's freezing. Sam can't make a fire yet again. Gilly offers to
Poor
him
guy.
to sleep in the furs she has wrapped around her. And then they talk about the difference of a wink and a blink for whatever reason.
A wink and a blink.
Yeah.
There we go.
He asks if she thought of a name yet for the baby. She accuses him of being essentially like condescending, like the way he talks fancy, like he's like going on about stuff. And I don't know if it's condescending, but she's like, "Oh, you talk so fancy," like, right? Like, because again, I think he's mentioned he was highborn, right? She could tell that he was highborn, obviously compared to her, right? In that sense.
Yeah.
And, he tries to help with naming the baby and explains basically family names to her, like surnames and everything, and how it works. And he says he mentions like his father's name was Randall, and he says please don't name him Randall.
Yeah, because she really likes that name.
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, was your father cruel?" It's like not cruel like yours, but cruel in a different way.
In a different way.
Yeah. And she ends up making the fire for them. And then he goes outside and sees a shitload of crows like going crazy and squawking all up in, like the same spot until they all
crazy.
stop suddenly, right? And this is when a White Walker approaches out of the woods. And
This would trip me out.
yeah, she's freaking out because she's yelling about how it's coming for the baby. And as we know, there is a weird baby exchange that went on possibly in the woods. Yeah. And
What the hell are these things?
Sam takes out his sword. He grabs it, like he walks up and grabs his sword and makes it like disintegrate into pieces, essentially freezes it, and it falls apart. And he comes for the baby or lunges at Gilly, and Sam runs up behind him and drives the dragon's glass blade that he found in the snow back over on the
other side of the wall.
That's right, into his back and kills him. Like he ends up like basically falling over. And then you see him and Gilly run away at the end of the episode there as ravens fly after them and they run. So
But he literally shattered. Like it like blew up the ice. It's like he was made out of ice, the guy, right? It was kind of neat the way that they played it off, and just to see that because I wasn't sure if it was the actual stone that he had that dragon glass or whatever we wanted to call it.
yeah, because he's been carrying it around like he had it. Like remember he was showing it off to her in like one of the other scenes where they were
Yeah.
So he's had it this whole time.
Do they refer to it as dragon glass at this point?
Black. I don't know. I called it dragon rock, and I thought it was dragon glass because when he found it, it was.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, do they? Because I don't know if they do at this point or not. I don't know. That's why I didn't write it down.
Maybe I'm spoiling it. I don't know because I believe.
Well, it's not like it's gonna eventually like it's not.
No, but I actually wrote it down, so I wasn't sure. Like,
okay, so
that's
yeah,
what I thought it was called or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm
okay.
But I thought that's what he had brought up in that previous one. It was
right. What do you think
because
of the White Walker situation? Since we kind of already know a little bit of background on it because we've watched it. Like, what do you think of this whole, like, this scene, kind of how they ended it out, and the future of this whole White Walker thing? Like,
well, I'm wondering, like, because if he's only got the only glass I know of that. I don't know. I haven't heard of any of that dragon glass. So, like, how the fuck are they gonna kill these dudes? If that's the only case, like that's the only way we know. And I know there was a quote when they were looking into the fire earlier, and then they seen a fire in the snow, right? Sorry, a war in the snow, right? So I don't know if they're talking about with the White Walkers or what, right? So I don't know how this is going to play out, and it's funny how that it knew to find the girl there with Sam.
Yeah,
with the boy, right? Which I wasn't understanding. Like, did it know to find? Was it there because where they were, or was it there because it knew that the boy was there and it was looking for that fucking I don't know if it's meal or whatever they do when they sacrifice the boys to them, right? Like,
Mhm.
you know, it was weird. So it kind of left me up in the air about it because I even wrote what the fuck at the end. When I'm confused at the end and I gotta wait and I don't want to watch to the next season yet, like the next episode, I
Right.
get like, oh fuck, what's gonna happen? Is it gonna surprise me next episode? Is it even gonna be a next episode? Because you know how the way this is.
Right.
There's a couple episodes that you don't get to see
I
certain people.
I think it's weird too how it was just like one random one that came out of the woods here, right? Like, I mean, I know that we know that they're kind of lurking around and walking
I
together.
think he was one of the like lieutenants. I think he was one of the.
The original ones we seen first, right?
Look like
Yeah, I don't think he's like a night king, like, or not like, I don't think he's like a, a person like that or whatever. I think, but he seems like to be like a.
Legit, like a leader.
he looked important. I get
Yeah, like he seemed more important than
yes.
just a
And you say
regular.
that, I don't know whether to believe, like if you guys are leading, trying to say something without saying something, you know. So I know because you guys are tiptoeing around things, right? Sometimes with me, right? Because I know I haven't
Yeah, I
watched
think
it
I'm
yet,
saying
so
too much.
I feel like that's what happens when you say it like that. The way you put the question out,
Well, we do know
you said it differently.
we do know there's an undead army. You've seen that already at
I've
the end.
seen that,
Yeah,
yes.
you've seen that already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
We knew
armies
But
have
once you said
generals and
lieutenant, and
lieutenants and stuff,
I
like.
seen him in an older episode, I was like, fuck, maybe they did, but who did he kill that was that important?
And we
You
know
know?
they're all kind of perpetually walking towards somewhere because
Yeah.
them like they and that's kind of like the whole point of the night watchman is the watch is to basically stop them from evading, well, not evading, attack, like basically
Attacking, yeah, and kind of invading the
yeah.
whatever.
So like, the whole winter is coming kind of thing slogan for the show. I think a lot people think it's referencing this whole thing about these guys coming, right? But no one believes in the existence of these things other than like a handful of characters that we know in the show already is from the Night's Watch stuff. So we don't, everyone else doesn't really believe in these things, right, Jay? No one's thinking in King's Landing these things are coming for us. They've never seen nor heard it tell of any of this shit before. They've heard rumors, right? Like, but we don't know actually. I don't think there's anybody else that really knows anything about these guys, and neither did they. Like, Sam didn't expect that to happen when he stabbed him in the back, right?
No, he was just doing it to protect. Like he was just like,
Protect
I need a
himself.
weapon. I have this. I'm just gonna protect.
Right.
Because I
So
mean, he grabbed the sword and it shattered, man. That was
Yeah.
crazy too. Like it was like it froze it right to ice and shattered. It was like wow. So I thought at first that's what he grabbed, something from that sword that shattered, that and he stabbed it. But then I kind of was thinking it seemed like it could be like afterwards. I was like, was it that dragon stone? And then I wasn't sure at first, and
yes.
you know, yeah. So, but it was kind of I figured it had to be that because that's the only thing that would make sense how to kill something. I don't know like that instead of just a regular like the guy grabbed the sword and made it shatter. I mean, what else can you do to the poor guy?
Yeah, these things are powerful, clearly, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
this was kind of probably the closest showdown that we've seen anybody have with them.
Yeah.
Previously he hid, and the
Yeah.
fucking whatever the leader of that group looked at him menacingly, and they just kept walking, and he survived. And then we've seen undead before, like Night's Watch people that had been turned, let's say. Oh, I guess John had a squabble with one of them. Actually, that's a lie. He lit him on fire. That happened as well. I forgot. So we've had a couple occurrences of White Walker action.
The encampment.
Yeah, but it seems like it happens like once a season or something so far, right? We get like that one White Walker moment.
Well,
the rest of it's
I'm
over.
wondering, like, if it's part of the wildlings controlling them too, right? Like, I mean, they have all kinds of weird things like ogres and fucking bears, and
Guess
well,
I'll
not bears, but
watching and find out. Jay.
We'll have to
I
keep
feel
watching.
because I was trying to pay attention to that scene when they showed all of the things there, and I didn't see what else they had going. I wasn't sure if these guys were in there, but who
Yeah.
knows? They could be, right? But I don't know. Like I said, that's what's the fun part about. Like I couldn't watch this year week to week. It would drive me nuts. Even though I kind of am now, but yeah.
But again,
Right.
these conversations that we had on this show, this was what the show was when it was currently on the air. We would have these conversations with people that were watching the show at that time. So that's why it's nice to kind of come back and do this kind of thing with somebody that is watching it for the first time. So I'm glad you're taking an interest in that sense, because it's true. I've had these conversations. I've had conversations with Christina before. We've all had these conversations with each other when the show was actually on the air, right? And this is when we didn't know everything.
Yeah.
right?
Well, it's fun to watch too. That you guys have to kind of watch what you have to say too, right? I mean, you can't get too far ahead on me, right? So that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Hopefully, we
second time
can
I've
record a
almost
bunch of
slipped.
these
Like,
and
oh, bye.
Speaking
yeah.
of big things that are about to happen, make sure you guys you tune in for the next 2 episodes where Christina will be joining us back again and possibly maybe taking over
It's
the
been
mic
great.
role. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But
I
Christina,
think I'm ready. I
these
think
are
I'm ready.
okay. These are the episodes that can you deal with Jay? Because sometimes it takes me 10 minutes to get through like one one sentence, as you can tell today.
The good guy, yeah, gets a little frustrated sometimes when he's trying to finish something. But
Well,
I've had great comments about it so far. That's the problem.
great comments. I'm just saying, when it's like one
Yeah.
scene to go, ease up a little.
I was
You
just
know?
getting excited because it was
I
coming,
can't wait
man.
for
I
him to
know.
watch this next episode and like the episode after and the episode after that. Like,
Oh,
Jay, we are getting into the meat and potatoes now.
on the floor moments. Yes, good stuff. Okay, so
Don't tell me that. I'm gonna go watch it right now.
make sure, guys, to check out the next 2 episodes. As always, tune back in. Christina will be back with us again, and she'll be Meister Statsing it up. She's going to be directing the conversation for those ones. These are the episodes Christina originally requested when we first asked her to join us on this show. So we're really looking
4
forward.
episodes later.
Yeah, and here we go. Yeah, it's been great. It's been a good run. No, it's
Yeah.
Christina made it very clear. She's like, I will come on as much as you want me to come on the show. I'm open to coming on and discussing Game of Thrones. So
And
yeah,
it's great because it's good.
we made
It's good
ourselves.
to have a female perspective, like you said earlier.
Thank you.
Yeah, especially when you got this creep, JT.
Yeah, like what do 2 grown men fucking have to say? Like, come on. It's always good to have
It
like you
softens
said,
when you're
devil's
talking about boobs and stuff. It softens the like,
So
you
yeah,
know,
it doesn't.
the lens.
People don't look at me so fucking wrong. Yeah.
Anyways,
But it's great. Thank you so much again.
Yes, thank
no
you for
problem.
joining us, and we'll catch you guys next time for what's the name of the next episode again? I forgot. Is it the Reigns
You
of
just said
Castamere?
it.
Yeah, it's the Reigns of
Oh,
Castamere. Is episode 9 of season 3. Make sure to join us back for that, guys. Make sure you subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, Christina.
No problem. Bye.
hey, Christina. Thanks, guys.